Hello, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included on hard mode. And last episode, I created some bunker doors, some robo miners, we even have space scanners and solar panels, all added to our base. Today, I am going to be melting a rocket wall. So, very small precision of area to work in, but very large amount of work. So here is the actual rocket platform. I will design my first rocket and then we'll get started on this. So to start off with, we're going to build a rocket, then we're going to put in some of the piping to actually do the melting. This is going to be the easy part. While this is going on, I'm a little bit worried about that not having enough power to open or specifically close doors when they need to be closed quick enough. So we're going to have a second set of transformers built down here to be able to give more power. Awesome. With this, let's go inside this rocket. And we're going to use obsidian because we're going to have very hot temperatures go through here. And then come back out of the rocket. And we're going to have one single tile or pipe that's not insulated right here. And the goal is to melt these two tiles. If I melt more, that's okay. But I do not want to melt this guy here because that is my gas output. And that'd be sad to lose that. So there's the plan. Let me just make that the priority. And then most of the work is going to be outside of this rocket. We'll get into that after. Let's have a look quickly on this asteroid. We did have one tile that needed to be built there to maintain that. I very much would like to get more hydrogen. Hydrogen's starting to be an issue. Not producing enough of it. More probably because we're consuming a lot more power for glass and metal production. Let's go inside, see if any progress has been. A little bit of progress has been made in here. Hate how it says that duplicate operation required. There will be a dupe that can do this. Nice, I don't need a ladder. Oh, you know what? Never even thought. This can be an important part. Destroying the rocket control station. Because it's made of copper ore, which can melt. Not only do I want to take it out, but I want to take the copper itself. And let's take that and throw that outside the rocket. Otherwise, that could make a mess. Isn't this technically a way? Or what does it... Just curious. I'm just curious if in this process I'm actually making copper. Anyway, not that I care. It's not like it's a super amount. I am making other platforms. This is more for future stuff. I'm probably only going to melt this particular rocket. Okay, so there it is. We've got our pipe. Let's double check that that one is regular. I've got obsidian, and the reason I'm using that is because it has a very high melting temperature, well above the high temperatures that I'm going to be putting into it. All right, well, I guess the more complicated part is coming up. So before we proceed, how about I take you through some of the comments? First is from Rob, which is curious. He said, I've never heard anyone call them slicksters. I did not realize I was calling them slicksters. Slickster. Okay, actually, I'm really glad you mentioned that because I've noticed that Slickster was not selected right here. So we were never actually going to get any more critters there. Not only that, I think we're having a heat issue. Oh, okay. I can see. I was having an issue with some... Maybe I'll bring that up to 150 again so we can increase the heat. Let's just run this briefly. The other thing Ama mentioned, and I'm curious, I don't know about this. They mentioned you can put in settings for things, but they think that might be a mod. If it is a mod, I might want it. I'm not seeing a way. For instance, if I want to put the settings in for this before that's built, I don't think I can. So yeah, maybe it must be a mod, unfortunately. I might look for that in the near future, though. That sounds awesome. All right, noticing that we've got a slickster. 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 Okay, I can't. I just can't. That guy out there in my stable. Let me double check that that actually is a full 90. Oh, it is not. Okay, it's 95, not 96. Not that I'm planning a full set of critters in there, but in case I change that in future, it would be nice to have that. Okay, thank you for that. With that out of the way, let's get back to this rocket. Okay, let's speed things up. What I want to do now is make some molten steel. The reason I want molten steel is I need a liquid that can get really hot. Notice that I've got to actually melt material here, which is steel. So we need something that can support that. Making molten steel, not the easiest, but if you know what you're doing, it doesn't take a whole lot. Just essentially a thermo aqua tuner. We'll need some power. Once we get the molten steel here, and I'm making airflow tiles can't interact with heat, so the molten will be fine in there. The insulated, or the drywall made out of obsidian, so that can't overheat and melt away, otherwise we could lose what we're going to get. But we essentially want to break this machine, and I'm realizing now, we want to do cooling on this line here, and I've just asked for this system to kind of function once again. So actually, maybe I will turn that back off so we get warmer water, because I don't want to break in this cooling line that's going to go into this guy. The reason for that is we need to melt this machine before it actually breaks. If we can do that, then we can make molten steel. And then I can put in a pump here, and I already have a pipe and power in place such that if I build a pump there really quickly, I'm hoping to get molten steel inside this liquid reservoir. It looks like one little piece of drywall is needed there. Awesome. Let's do this connection right there. Boom. We're starting the process of cooling. I'm really hoping that we don't get stuff that's too cold such that it would turn to ice. That's a really long cooling line, so I think by the time it runs through and gets to that point, we're going to be fine. I also want to disable auto repair, otherwise we may be wasting steel. Okay, there you can see that damage has started. That technically is fine. You notice that we're above 500 degrees. I think it's somewhere above 2000, 2400 or something like that we need to reach before this thing breaks. If this thing does break, we're in trouble. I could get the dupes to do some repair. I may pause it right here because while this is going on, I might as well design the rest of the system. So here is the design, and I will start off saying it's entirely possible that I've got something wrong, and we can all laugh as it falls apart. But the idea is I'm going to have a metal refinery that will keep heating up the molten steel that I get from this guy. A little bit of automation with an auto sweeper. Get the inputs going, bringing in power, obviously. We're going to have to keep these machines cool since they're in space, so some conductive panels to make that happen. And insulated obsidian, taking the temperature. Basically, if coming out of the metal refinery, if it's not hot enough, I want to send it back in. And if it comes out of the rocket, if it's not hot enough, again, we want to be able to put it back in. Otherwise, we want to send it into the rocket for some cooling, or not cooling, heating, rather, to be able to ultimately melt that rocket. And if I can do that, it's been a successful day. Okay, so while this is going on, we're over here and noticing that we reached over 2000. Just gonna pause it to remind myself the exact temperature. All kinds of things can be molten. Here's the cool property, though. 2426. We get to that, we make molten steel. But once something is molten steel, then it won't become solid unless until it gets down to 1000 or so. That property is super cool. It doesn't turn back to solid at the same temperature here. That's why this works so well. And we are almost at 2200. We may not have to do any repair to this system. That's thanks to the fact that we haven't had any outage. 22, 23 degrees. I think we're going to be completely fine. Boom, there it is. I'm going to pause it here because I want to get that inside. I'm going to cut that. I do want my cooling line to keep going. So we'll let that happen. And I'm going to make that super urgent. The only thing I could have done and should have done, I should have gotten some steel close by so someone could have just grabbed some and put it in. Let's see, is there any risk of that going down? Oh yeah, it has to be down to 1,000 like I said. So actually no, there shouldn't really be any risk to that becoming solid. Putting the pump in will cool the temperature down a bit, but not enough, I don't believe, to become solid. If we can get that stored inside here, and because this guy is sitting on airflow tiles, it shouldn't interact with the environment. Store it there, and we can deal with, figure out what we want to deal or do with it later. This guy also is going to take in some damage, so I'll disable auto repair on that. Meanwhile, dupes can, okay, we can make some iron. Let's see. I will want some of the inputs. I might pause if I am. Oh, I should grab. We'll grab some shine bugs. Sure. If we're producing stuff here, let's stop. This is where I've got iron stored. Just curious. The lime and refined carbon. Let me copy that. Put that in there. And let me just undo that. Undo that too. So we will go back to that being the metal refinery eventually. This is only going to be a short-lived thing. Let me destroy this, because it's only going to take damage from here on in. Oh, automation. One thing I did forget. So I'm making everything out of steel. Some things don't require it, given the fact that it's in space. But just to be safe, everything being made out of steel. Cooling line running around. Now I think I can do that. Let's run a short period of time of loading in some material. So I want to keep this going as much as possible. And let's also make this a priority 6. And I'll do that as a priority, though I don't think it'll take anyone too long to come make that. Okay, so that's all the automation. We've all loaded in some of the input material. I'm going to load that, set that back to a 5. That to a 5. And here is the question. Oh, never mind. Let's forget about that. Because we need one more check there. We also, I forgot, I didn't put in any of the settings. I can't remember what is best here. Okay. Let me see if I can recall just by looking at this. One thing I don't want to do is put in liquid that is too cool, such that it gets ultimately below the 1,000. There's going to be risk of that. So we want to make sure it's nice and hot before it gets in here. I think that's the main thing. Let's start with a value of 2,000. If you are below 2,000, that means you got to go in for heating. And the same thing has to happen right here. And then I guess most of the time I'm going to have to do other projects. One such project could be finishing the bunker doors over the side. The other thing that I could be doing while this is melting is building on this volcano down here. Maybe we'll ask for that to be dug out. Up that priority. I think everything... Oh, you know what's not in place? Right. Let's disable this. Almost forgot. We don't have something to actually get this from here to here. So we need this. But I don't want that to be built and load in a little bit of liquid here, such that it, even though that's an insulated pipe, it will actually cool off and potentially break. This is a very small amount of liquid. Okay, so with that, let's just get that built, and we'll turn it on. and see what happens. Technically, I can turn down this system. Can even get rid of that and that. And that's the pipe I don't want to be built unless this is disabled, which it currently is. Okay, so will this work when I enable this? I'm going to take a quick break and find out what is about to go terribly wrong, or hopefully maybe see some success. So are you ready to see things go terribly wrong? I'm sure it's going to be just fine. Okay, so I am enabling this liquid reservoir, which should transfer our red hot molten steel into the inside of our little guy here. I wonder if I should actually minimize the amount that go... Oh, you know what? I might. What I might have also really wanted to happen is to have one pipe right there. Okay, I already noticed one thing I might have forgotten. But I think that can be made in time. So I might not want more liquid than can fit into this guy. Got to, I can't remind myself exactly how much can fit in there. I'm thinking 1,000. That pipe's not built. Let's just disable that for a second, see if we can get lucky. That's a 5. Oh no, that is not 5. Let's bring that down to a 5. All right, this is what I was hoping not to have happen, is to get molten steel stuck in the pipe. That might break, which, I mean, if we have a few pieces break, which looks like the fact that that's not there, we may just have to live with. Okay, let's disconnect this. We'll see if we can get that out of there. Put that like that. Oh, let's cut that, though. As long as that is disabled. Okay. Astronaut disabling that, awesome, which means now we can put that there. Hold on, stop going that way. Yeah. Okay, so I think, and I'll just cut that just to be safe. I think we've got all the molten steel inside there. We've got this filled to a full 800. Okay, so I guess 800 is the max. That being the case, let's ask for metal. I'll ask for iron. And what I've told the dupes is work on this half of the bunker doors. I don't have enough steel to do the automation wire or power, but we're in the process of producing steel, so should get some over time. Veterinarian, giving this machine a run. So with 2 conductive panels, I think that's going to be enough to keep it cool. Oh, there is some molten steel. So that's not above 2,000. So what I'm hoping, expecting that to happen is come out here and go back into the machinery. Which it is. Okay, that's good. And then we should have that heat up on a second round. Go to a little bit of quicker speed. So I'm feeling like we may have gotten it right. Okay, still not above 2,000. And we'll keep going until it eventually does, and we'll go in this direction. Oh, and there. Look at this. Now we've got 2,000, right? Oh, I think we've got a problem. I feel like that's disabled. And because this is going into there... This is kind of like it doesn't know what to do with itself. Shoot. Obviously, if I disconnect this, it's fine, but how do I don't know if this is actually needed, to be honest. Okay, well, let's just let this run for now. Slow down just for that. Go inside this guy here. So we've got our molten steel, 2,000. Now, here's the critical part. That's going to transfer heat, so the building itself getting very hot, but that's going to cool this. Oh, 1100, just above the point where that would have actually broke. So even as two pieces of this piping would have been too much. All right, well, with that, that's a good pass. The only thing I'm concerned about, okay, another pass coming in, taking the temperature almost at 200. And if we can get this above 2400, we've melted the wall. And then I can build outside here and have a massive rocket. The only thing I will have to think about is two things. One is in the event that this comes out too hot, we don't want to get it supercharged beyond what it needs. What do we do with it in this case? And how do we make that happen? I feel like something like this. Oh, I can copy that. Would force that. I think that's all we really need, to be honest. Because that would force this to go, allow me to put this. Oh yeah, that's what I was missing. Okay, so again, in this case, not above 2000, so we're going back into the machine. Let's go check on progress here. We've got our cooling pipes. I'm going away from this area because this is where I want to have my rockets. This rocket here probably won't actually go here long term now that I think about it, because it would probably overheat that solar panel. But anyway, that's the easy part. We can move a rocket. Almost at 2000 again. Let's cut this, cut that. Now with that, we should be safe to do that. And I think we've got everything I'm hoping to leave it alone. Eventually, once it gets hot enough, there is a few adjustments we're going to make later on, but I'll save that for another point. Go back inside this. Cutting about 300, nice. Now, the only thing is, as it heats up this, it has to move across the rest of it. Unfortunately, it transfers heat really efficiently, which means we basically have to heat the whole rocket, not just 2 points here and here. But we can do it. So with that, I've prioritized bunker doors. No point doing some of the construction down here. Pretty much the same design that I have over here. So we've got a set of 3 robo miners. We got some power. We've got some cooling conductive panels to make sure they stay nice and cool. We've got the guy in the middle that is protected from stuff falling on top. And the 2 to the side can clear the top off. And it can also clear everything up here. And then we're opening up from here to here to be a bunch of rockets. Valid construction location. Oh yeah, that's just because we need more mesh tiling. This time plumber operating. Not only are we going to get, we have to remember though, the metal that we're producing. Actually, no, it's not that hot. I was expecting that to be, that's kind of a cool property. Oh, okay. Why did that break? Let's watch this. That is a repair on that. We must have gotten some steel that was not hot enough. Which means maybe I'm going to make an adjustment here to make that 2100. Make it a little bit hotter, just to make it a little bit more safe. Once the temperature of the rocket goes above 1000 or so, we're going to be fine, because there will be no longer a risk of the molten steel becoming solid inside the pipe. New printable. Might as well grab snazzy suit. We could be doing getting more dupes wearing that. Let's see, we'll give that to Astronaut. Now, the only thing is, did we lose enough metal and whatever broke there? I don't see any, unless it leaked out to the side. That may have been the case, that we actually lost some of our metal. Therefore, there's not enough to run Oh, no. No, no, no. Never mind. Never mind. That's not the case. We can still do a run. Okay, so this time we're going to go above 2100. We're not going to go into the rocket unless we have at least that hot temperature. I'm thinking we can just leave that alone. The only other major risk is I really do want to be around when this actually hits the 24 mark. So I am going to come back every so often just to make sure we are able to melt exactly what we want and not too much. Let's check down here. So you are not likely going to create the type of critter we want until we heat you up. But, oh, wait. Actually, no. Now that we're not making, we don't need any more molten steel. Well, I hope, at least. Unless we muck things up. But let's put this back to 150. So we can start to increase the temperature down in here. Could also do some work in here. This would give us access to more copper in the future. And I'm just going to focus on some space work. Start with some of the piping. Okay, we are almost getting towards 700 degrees. Colony achievement. Was that the sweater that they put on? Nowhere to go. Have 8 duplicants wear non-default clothing. Yeah, it was. So again, prioritized on the bunker doors so we get... Oh, no, I did not. Never mind. Whoops. Okay, we'll do that. This time, biologist giving the machine a run. I may not need this, so gonna have to decide. I think I might just throw that in the rocket post melting. So how this is gonna work, I've got to melt it and make sure I don't melt too much. But then once we've got our tiles melted, I've got to cool the rocket down. That may not be today. And then we need to actually build the inside of the rocket. And that's going to be the fun part. Once the rocket has been cooled down, I need to decide. And what this whole mission is overall is to get all achievements on hard mode. And there are a number of achievements that require going to space. So I figure having a rocket that I can build all kinds of cool stuff around here beyond just this tiny little area is going to make it a lot easier. I will be happy once we've achieved over 1,000 degrees. We are at 1,500 coming out, which is a good sign. Closer we get to 1,000, the more I would worry. So I'm just curious. We've got sandstone close by. We're going to do some work down here in this volcano at the same time. Noticing we must be consuming more. Actually, how are we consuming? We don't have a pump. Oh, because it probably opened that up, maybe. So that doesn't allow me to put in new fish, but unless that comes from the printing pod, we should be fine. So I will select that, make that a 6. Check this guy here. Next storm. Okay, this guy is now active, so we'll be getting more aluminum. This guy's going to be active for almost 40 cycles. Okay, getting close to that 1,000 mark. Why? Unreachable build. Why is that unreachable? Unless for some reason... Oh! Oh, what happened here? Okay, this is bizarre. I don't know how we undid that. Is there any way the dupes were able to get back into the base? Also notice we don't have a hydrogen pump up here. So that will ultimately be needed. Let's make that out of gold amalgam. And put that down there. A little filter up there maybe. Not super urgent since dupes don't really go in this area all that much. Where that would have to go though. Oh, well, just I guess join in on that. Boom, that should be that. Here is where if I had the ability to put in the setting, I would do that now. Maybe we'll just make that a priority so I can get that in. Let's check our hydrogen infinite storage. I haven't looked at that in a while, to be honest. Oh, over 4,000 per tile up there. So lots of hydrogen available to us. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I was a little bit worried that, oh no, we're running out of hydrogen. Not exactly. Not exactly. Because of that infinite storage. Given the fact that we have that much in there, we're probably actually fine. What I probably do need, first of all, let's just check here. Above 1,000, that's awesome. I'm just curious if that's the 10,083. So we're not quite out of the danger yet, but I'm pretty sure we're not gonna have an issue. What I should have here is a filter gate that's looking for the element, making sure it's hydrogen in the area. But let's put an AND gate in here. So I'm realizing that would probably be smart to do like a pressure check. And basically tell it, don't bother unless the pressure is above a certain amount. Maybe 900 would be fine. We'll do maybe 600. I kind of feel that's where that level should be. We've got some pips, so we can bring one of these guys over. See if we can get lucky planting another. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, we've got carbon dioxide problem. And I don't think that has to do with the fact that we haven't been running a pump. Because, yeah, I could empty this, but this is the fact I suspect that we're melting here. Let's investigate. I thought we were getting through minus 81. Is there could there be carbon monoxide from anywhere, or is it just the fact that we've been running without the carbon monoxide pump? Or so the other thing is, I should mop there though. Technically, that's where the dupes. And we've got liquid on the floor. Okay, so Explorer, poor old Explorer. Mop up down here. That should start to help. Maybe we'll need to have an infinite storage. Or transfer the carbon dioxide. Okay, actually no, not transfer the carbon dioxide, because the whole idea of this whole setup was that this could just be pure hydrogen that goes inside there. And we can get rid of those two things. Okay, let's not distract ourselves too much. Over on Explorer's Asteroid. Back to the rocket. 1,200. What about our construction project? Okay, so we've got power and piping up to this point. Kind of thinking to myself 3 million calories. Wonder if I should be thinking of another dupe. I wasn't planning on getting a whole lot more. I want at least one bionic too. Let's see if we've got our jet suits that have been again. Where did the suits go? What? There's no way that they can't get out in space, can they? Oh, they can. Okay, that one tile there is what's causing all this pain. I did not see that. Because what's happening is anyone wearing jet suits in the base itself? They probably have gone through one of the other checkpoints and just dropped their suit there. That would explain that one tile, which has now been repaired. What I'm going to do, just to be safe, put that tile in place. That one is not in a rush. We'll have to redo this one final time, but this should be hopefully the last time I have to do this. Haven't seen these guys. Well, I should check the other endpoints. Make sure they're all okay. Looks like we're okay there. And where's the other one down here? Is there 3 dupes that are actually around on that side? I feel like that is not the case. Oh, there's one at least. Oh, we were doing some construction here, and I forgot to set hydrogen there. Usually do 2 minutes for that. Okay, so that is that pump. So now when we get too much hydrogen up here like we have at the moment, we've got that pump to take care of things. That is good. Okay, with that, let's take that out. We could design this area. Just want to give ourselves a little bit more room. Making sure we are not going to be splashing liquid everywhere. I think we're good. 4 tiles. Is that going to be enough? Because normally I have my return line, which I guess could just be go underneath the volcano. It should be fine. Let's see, 3 tons of glass. If I do some space missions in the future, we will want more glass. So you know what? Top that up. I haven't produced the glass. Actually, you know what? I will. I'll put that at 99. But since we don't need it right now, I'm going to make that a 4. Oh, okay. This is where my labor is going. I mean, it's nice to get the line. But, yeah, that should give the dupes a little bit more focus up. If they do need more fossil, might need to get, you know what, if I run out of lime, we'll do that. All right, up to 1400 degrees. I think I'm going to take a short break and we'll keep trying to melt this wall. Okay, back to it. So the liquid that's going in, nice and hot. We are above the point where I would expect. In fact, now that we're above the point that I expect this can melt, this is the point that I can downgrade this. Not urgent, but might as well. That's going to make it easier to transfer. If I had tungsten, and I don't know that I do, take that out of the rocket, though. Honestly, I don't think that's necessary. Later on, making that out of tungsten would be nice. I do have high stress. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is things out of power? Why are you all stressed out? Is it the carbon dioxide? Let's set that, reset that to deal with that. Yeah, I can understand, explore why. First of all, you do have to get the ground dry. Maybe we'll give some skill scrubbing or explore. We certainly have to... why do we not have... Oh, okay, yeah. Because you didn't get this built... Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to let that flow. Okay, so we ran out of hydrogen. I could collect hydrogen from the other asteroid and just utilize the infinite storage from there, which is what I think I might do to handle this situation. So where's our teleportation equipment to send stuff? This is receive, right? I actually completely forget where that... Up here, okay. I would want this coming out of our hydrogen storage. Also realizing we never did insulation on this line. Probably not super urgent just yet. Trying to just see what's the most, or rather the least destructive way of trying to do this. Okay, so if we want to send the hydrogen after the infinite storage, that's how I would like to do this. Let's make that the priority, so that Explorer can at least have power. Oh, and this is, okay, maybe, yeah, this is not going to work. They can't use the skill scrubber because they don't have that much power. Though there is a little bit of hydrogen that is flowing now. And they need power, of course, to reduce their stress. Weren't having access to that machine. So with a little bit of hydrogen, that is going to be useful. Let's take hydrogen from here. We won't insulate since that will take more work. Okay, so Explorer can work on that. Let's refresh this, because we'll need more carbon dioxide out of the air. I'm still nervous about this. So we're talking about minus 88. So is it possible that Explorer has produced that much carbon dioxide? I don't think so. Not one dupe. There's no way. There's just no way. I should probably have some sort of cooling system. But we'll come back. There's more pressing things to for Explorer to work on. Okay, a couple more pieces of pipe. They're needed up here. On this asteroid, 0 stress. Okay, Explorer hydrogen is on the way for you. Just double checking that comes from the infinite storage. So this goes down towards the main dupes. This goes up for Explorer. That may not be consumed just yet. So that pipe needs to be built. At least see our hydrogen generator running, so that's something. 73%. I've never thought about, on this asteroid at least, putting that in place. That would have made a lot of sense. Their sleeping location has a carpeted tile. So at least for that. I'm just curious. Let's disable that building. Let's make this the, yeah, this already says, just figured if they're gonna be using that machine, they might as well have a carpeted tile to help reduce their stress a little bit more. Didn't realize we had critters that were stuck in there. Okay, and then let's enable this building. Okay, so let's double check. Popped eardrum. Oh, okay. No, that is definitely coming from this, isn't it? I can't see, but that definitely. I'm gonna shut this down. I'm shutting that down. We're just. Somehow, I think carbon dioxide is coming out of that, and I just don't understand it. So I think that's just too dangerous for Explorer. And with popped eardrums, it's just going to be a nightmare for quite a while, unfortunately. Let's not forget about this rocket. 1800 degrees over there. We probably are going to have trouble maintaining things. Oh my, oh my. Lots of hydrogen, so we're actually increased that a bit. Ooh, okay, let's check the outside of the rocket to make sure there is nothing going wrong. Looks healthy to me. Oh, we must have had a meteorite. I don't see any damage. So the doors must have closed. I do see damage. So the doors must not have closed in time. Given the fact that it's very isolated, I suspect this is because we're trying to have all the power shared from 2 transformers. That's just not making things happen quick enough, which I'm not surprised. So adding more power, which we will do eventually. Also, what is this? I don't like this. Dupes are confused. They're confused. Plumber, what are you doing? First of all, you're getting radiation poisoning. What is this nonsense? Oh. Okay. That's excessively bad. Okay, fair enough. That's why you're not going back in the maze. Oh my goodness. We had our first meteorite. Yeah, so this was not, this system is not complete. Largely, I think that's the fact that our power system, okay, and the dupes rushing in. Okay. Also realizing I don't have anything to clear this. I need to think about that. Hold on. How would I? Okay, we'll come back to that. I think that's going to be another day's challenge, is to work out the actual position of the rocket platforms. And then make sure that this material here, as well as we need to make sure we'll get some more construction and finish up this. The other thing I haven't put in, more solar panels too. What is... Okay, yeah, I'm curious if we should put some... I might throw some more scanners in as well. We'll design that after. They've got enough work to keep them busy anyway. And poor old Explorer definitely has enough work. Well, I've got to come back here since we don't have our infinite storage in place. Still don't have hydrogen coming up. Stress at 42. Popped eardrums, which is adding 20% stress. Okay, I think I'm going to just give... I don't think we even need to be honest. These carbon dioxide, solid carbon dioxide. So we might just leave it as it. Or... I think I have a thought, but I'm gonna save that for another day, I think. My thought is, why don't we just encase this in the cold area rather than have it the other way around? That just reduces that risk altogether if we did that. I think that's what we'll probably do. But for now, we got to fix the problem. Okay, if we can get that hydrogen pump or line built, that would be good. Though we currently have hydrogen flowing at the moment, so there's that. Inside the rocket, let's not get distracted. Still just above 2,000, so we get a little bit more to go. Just wondering if I'm going to stop now to plan a carbon skimmer plan, I think. So this asteroid is a mess of pipes. But anyways, we're going to have to look into that in time. I'm going to put a carbon skimmer right here. Plan is to tap into our water system, which is a little low. I should definitely have a warning system on that. Maybe put a hydro sensor here. Probably by the time this gets built, it'll already be low anyways. There is plenty of water. It's just a matter of switching to somewhere else when it's finally needed. Okay, let's go back over here inside our rocket. Still above 2,000 just. Touching above 2,000, at least while this is running. Probably going to cool back down. So it's going to keep going up when liquid goes through. Don't like how liquid is stopping. Whoa, what's that about? Let's check this. Why? Oh, there's a problem. There's a problem. The liquid that's coming out, essentially there's not enough slack in the line. The liquid that comes out doesn't have anywheres to be stored if there's too much of it. Okay, I need to figure this out. So I think I have a plan here that will get me out of this jam. We've got a liquid reservoir. That's just going to go, we're going to go into and out of that before we go into the rocket. And that will allow us to store a little bit of a slack. Now, I'm worried about molten steel that's currently sitting here. We notice that the temperature is dropping. That's because it's 10 kilograms of molten steel. Yes, it's very hot. But compare that to the 400 kilograms of the only 59. Now, this temperature will start to go up. But I suspect there's a huge risk that molten steel is going to break. Actually, it's really lucky that I've noticed this at this point. So what I'm going to do, first of all, make this, okay, I already have that as a 6, but we'll make that a 9. And we're going to make this 2300 so that we focus on that going in that direction. Maybe I'll do, in fact, keeping it at this value at this point is probably going to be a good thing anyway. So now we've got to get it hotter before it goes into the rocket, and it needs to be above 2400 anyways. Check back here. Carbon skimmer. Tube is on break. Let's check their schedule. Did I have them? Okay, they're on a similar schedule here as Rancher. That's fine. Okay, so that should take our... We'll have to cut this right here once that's built out. Nice. Okay, so we've got something to be able to handle excess. Theory, this could actually join up there instead of going down like that, but I think that'll work. Let's not try to fix it unless it's actually broken. So we're above 2,000. I think, would there be anything wrong with... Oh, we don't have our tungsten made yet. We must have had some... What's it called? Wolframite? Is there any way to direct... Oh, you know what? I'll just temporarily do this. Okay, a little bit of progress in here. Regolith, which has caused some issues. I have an idea. I think what I'm going to have is like a robo miner here, and then like a gap between that. But anyways, fully designing the rocket platform area will be another day. I'm glad to get this much in place, though. Maybe what I'll do is I'll position one of these. So I feel like that is there. 2 from the top. Is that what I did? For some reason, I did 3. Is there a reason why I... Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3. There we go. Awesome. So if we have that there, then the thought would be solar panels. Could start like that. Just make sure the dupes have something to do while we keep melting this. There's our tungsten. We've got enough of that. Okay, so let me, we can make more, but I'll also ask for iron and steel. Where's our steel value? Low on that. Produce more over time. Oh, Pakus. Who would be in a better... It might actually be fine on this asteroid. Yeah, let's do some. I think the last time I printed Pakus was on the main asteroid. And they're crowded. But we could knock this over. Carbon skimmer has to come first, though that's made. Okay, so we got our carbon skimmer running. That might actually deplete that water faster. In fact, the point where I don't even think that will matter. Got this set up, which can now be a little bit lower. And I think that is going nowheres. Yeah. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this is our water source. Let me see. Right like this. And we'll share water. Oh, that's a water source from here. Hold on. We're making our own water. This is confusing. We're using that for oxygen. We're using this for the washroom. Our washrooms are overloaded right now because these guys... Oh, we've got problems. Duke can't use the shower. They're probably having to use the outhouse because that's backed up. Oh my goodness. Okay, how to get Explorer out of this mess. I think we want to... what's going on here? See some pips doing some stuff. Irrigation. Oh, status. Oh, we got water in there. This is what I was depending on for getting rid of the polluted water. Where did... Oh, from this. Okay, I've got to destroy this, but the question is... That was something I was relying on being pure polluted water, and clearly that's no longer the case. All right, many things to fix for poor old Explorer. Okay, go back over here. 2,200. What about our construction project? Still working down there. I haven't done anything with Volcano. But maybe what I'll do is I'll ask for some obsidian to be put around that way. Some insulation out of igneous rock would be fine. And I will plan to put in 5 of these. What pipe is that? Oh, it's a carbon dioxide pipe. We can reroute that to go a little bit further around. Okay, so getting close to 2,400 and something to be able to melt that guy. cooling line is running, looking at decent temperatures. Let's look inside. 138. I think we need to be above 100 for the slicker, not the slickster, but the slicker. Molten 14%, and yeah, 100 to 250. So we've achieved the correct temperature for them to get the right type of egg out of that. $2,300. We're getting there. We're getting there. One of my favorite parts is once you have this opened up is figuring out how you want, because now I guess I'm gonna have to focus on achievements, but I will want multiple dupes, figuring out a comfortable place to keep their morale high. I'd like to have a deep freezer, jet suit storage of liquid petroleum for the jet suits, water just for basic survival. 2,300 and something. So that carbon skimmer is going in overtime. Okay, so it did not take long to make an absolute mess of this asteroid. I think I'm going to take a moment to plan a second carbon skimmer. The next carbon skimmer down here. Just need a floor. Oh, I need power too, don't I? So that will go up to there. And I'm just going to dump the polluted water down here since these guys are in need of more anyways. Didn't realize we got U-trapped somehow. Did that because... Have we got rid of the stinging critter? We have. So you know what? We don't need to... That was protecting the pips from accessing that storage bin. I don't see any of those mosquito-like critters. So I think we're good there. Since this will do so much good, let's up the priority of that. 2340. Remind myself, we are going for 2426. 2426. So I haven't gotten to the 24 just yet. So we're going to want to dump all kinds of liquid on top of this volcano. Insulate this till it gets there. Like so. Okay, so that will give us the ability to keep busy with this. What else could we put in? Should we make this out of steel? Not a lot of steel, so we'll have to be careful. And switch that to steel there. Just double check that's what that looks like. $23 something. All right, I think I'm going to have to find some food, but when I come back, I think we're going to be able to melt this rocket wall. Okay, let's finish this off. Not the volcano, but this the rocket wall. I've got more planned there around that volcano. That probably won't be finished until next time. That's okay. We are getting close. I think this is going to be it. I think at this point, now that it's hot enough, we can put in our tungsten. Let me just double check if I actually understand this right. Tungsten, 3,400 is where it melts. So yeah, it is completely fine. So that way, we would actually have a radiant pipe just to transfer the heat even quicker. These two locations. With all the other construction projects, I better make that higher priority. So 23 coming in. Oh, scalding. Hold on. Is that in here? Why did that happen? Oh, we got some carbon dioxide. It shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter. Except for the fact that that does make it a little bit more dangerous for the dupes, I guess. With their suit, though? I guess maybe at that temperature. Maybe the that's 2,000 degrees is just too hot. Probably could have melted that even with this changing that. But anyway, that's fine. Let's just stop getting the dupes to come in here then. So we got our tungsten. At this point, let's make that 2,500. Because unless it's that hot, we won't get it past the final stage, getting to the 2,400. Which means we may need to have no... Oh no, that's hot enough. Coming in at 2,500 or so. So now we've got our radiant pipes. Check if our carbon skimmer not built yet. Come on, Explorer, you can do it. So we've got actually a lot of our construction done. Cooling line. Theory, I could get the cooling line to start going. It's just not necessary at this point. Mealwood seed, that's not going to do us any good. Oh, what are you doing? That is not going to help with your stress, Explorer. Certainly building that machinery, though, will help. Curious if any progress has been made. Oh, a little bit down here. I'm going to actually... hold on. I want to add the water for... A little bit of water first. Before we do the analysis. Oh, there we are. Okay, at least temporarily. We were above 2,400. We'll be there once again. Was it 24, 26 I think we were aiming for? So just another pass or two, I think, in the middle refinery. Okay, let's just see, because this could happen any moment now. Possibly. 24, 20, 25. 20, come on, it didn't melt? Okay, melt. Okay, this is good. This is the critical part. If this keeps melting and melts that, which I don't think it's going to, that's going to be really bad. But at this point, I can't get out into space. I could technically get liquid access. Gas could go through, but the dupes, we need 2 tiles for the dupes to go through. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, awesome. Am I risking it? I would like this to melt, though it's not essential. I'm risking this melting, though, which I don't want to have happen. Tile's not super important. I often don't. 24, 20. It wouldn't take... You know what? Let's just go. Let's just go. I didn't really plan for this. I will want... Actually... I won't go touch that one because we don't want that one to heat up. I don't know if this is a mistake, to be honest, but let's just give it a go. Maybe until that's built, let's just hold off. Disable that. Make a cut right there. Isn't that already... Oh, I made that a tungsten... Oh, yeah, of course. That was the tile we melted. Okay, only thing is, I don't know. Should also mop up. Okay, scald. I wasn't expecting the scalding doesn't seem okay. I was gonna say they're not taking. Someone needs a mop. Someone needs to. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was critical. Okay, so with that done, let's enable this. And we have to name the rocket too. If anyone has any ideas, I'll be naming it next episode. Okay, enabling our machinery. Getting more hot liquid, which will probably pass through. And this may just melt this one tile. But not too much, but not too much. Okay, boom, stop. All right. So now what I need to do is cool off the rocket. There is one really easy way to do, which I think when the game doesn't actually support the temperature of 2400. So if I do a save and load, it'll actually drop quite a bit. But before I do that, okay, at this point, I guess I'll just do that. But I gotta make sure I disable that machinery. So the game just reloaded. And in a second, it just dropped a ridiculous amount of temperature from 2400 something to 25. Okay, awesome. So we have done it. Not today, but I think next time. It is a very hot rocket still, nonetheless. It may have cooled a little bit right at that location. I guess that's because these guys reset their temperature. Which kind of adds in some cooling. That's kind of what that is all about. So in theory, if I could go and do that again and get another little bit of cooling, but I think that is a sad way of doing things. What I'm going to, just before I leave, okay, so we've achieved our goal. Well, let's do the tear down. And then next time we'll do the cool off. And possibly, if it doesn't take too long to cool, which I don't think it will be, we'll start the process. I think it's going to be 2 episodes of building this thing. But we melted our rocket wall. That's super awesome. What can we tear down? We can get rid of this, I suppose. Let's disable that building. Sending stuff into the rocket still, which is fine. It should... Oh, I see. Put that at a max so that we get all our stuff in to our refinery. That's stuck. Why is, I guess if I reverse that direction. Let's tear down all our piping. So with that, actually, hold on. Whoa. We will... Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna say maybe I want to push the molten steel back in, but I can always get the dupes to carry that. Yeah, let's go back to that. Tear down, tear down. I do want to destroy this and keep the airflow tiles here and here because this stuff, in particular that molten steel, can be dangerous. And I don't want that to sit on... If it sat right there, actually, would in space would that matter? Me. We're going to keep that those airflow tiles around. That can go, though. That can go. Don't need to power anything in that area. That can go. Take down our last little bit of the automation. This can, and what I should do, let's just, before I do that, this is our refined lime. Let me hit a copy on that and go to our old refinery, put that right there. Also noticing that the dupes can't go in here, probably because I never set auto repair on our ammo suit, so that's nice. And that can go. And that should do it. We also made progress out this way. Explore. Still waiting for... Oh, and just got access to this, except for I completely messed up the connections. That needs to go there. That needs to go there. So next time, they'll have another carbon skimmer. How is the left side? Let's just slow down since we've achieved our goal for the day. Do that little thing. It's taken a while to undo this mess. The solid carbon dioxide that's been pumping out into here, but we will slowly get better. Let's just reset that. Set that to the max. Reset that. So next time we gotta improve this. And then finally, any progress, make sure that this guy in here is still happy. Very 140 degrees, I'm happy. Oh, and look at that. We've got a molten slicker egg available to us. And we'll finish this up next time as well. All right, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included. Next time, we will build inside our little rocket here. I shouldn't call it little because we'll be able to build all kinds of stuff outside of it. Till then.